Hi John, welcome to a quick kind of recap of your lesson today, just so you can watch back of it at your own pleasure and just have a look through the different things we discussed today. So just having a look at your swing here again on the left hand side. Just going to run you all the way through to the top here. At the moment, I'm not too not too unhappy with the setup or the length of swing too much at the moment. It's not my primary focus. My main issue is, as we've discussed and as I've run you through with your lesson, is on your club face position here at the top. It's incredibly open. All right, it's much more open than it should be. As I've run through with the drill, using the exercise of the logo on the grip as a reference for the top of the swing, I'd like to see that club face up on the top of the swing, pointing much more up towards the sky. On the right here we've got Boo Weekly. Boo Weekly is an excellent example to use as a model for hitting the ball, if you like. He's not been outside the top 6 in the last 4 or 5 years on the PGA Tour in ball striking, so that's in stats like advanced total driving and danger zone shots, which are 175 to 225 yards for tour pros. So he's an excellent hitter, and is, revered by his peers as being a superb ball striker. So he's a superb model to use. And if we run him up to the top here, you can see that the club face position we're looking for is one very similar to his. As we get up to the top of the swing, you can see how that club face there is right up facing the sky. Alright, this is in a position which I deem to be square, okay, for the reasons that I've run through in the lesson. And you can see how that is pointing right up to the sky, and it's in a much squarer position there. Alright, to help you achieve that, we did talk about changing your grip at the start. You can see here, if we run this back down and when we start to look at your grip here, if we compare that to Boo here on the right hand side, you'll see that the hands and the grip position are much stronger. You can see that the left hand here is much more over the top, exposing at least 3 knuckles here on the left hand. I can start to see the glove emblem on his or the glove logo, sorry, on his glove hand here, and the right hand here, the kind of the V that's created between the index finger and the thumb, is pointing somewhere at his right hip here. Alright, almost like both hands have been turned much more around to the right hand side. Strong doesn't necessarily mean that you're gripping it stronger, it just means that both hands have been turned kind of to the right, and you can see how in your grip here both hands are very neutral, very straight down the shaft, and that just allows that when you swing back, it just allows your forearms to rotate and allows the club face to rotate with it, meaning that you're opening the club towards the top of the swing. And obviously the issues in the downswing here is unbeknown to you. The club face is opened, you do little or nothing to put it back straight away, so as we start to run this down, you're going to approach this club ball with an open club face, which means that you're going to have to release this club early. You're going to have to let the arm start to unwind early. You'll see that the right elbow starts to come out and the right arm starts to straighten in an attempt for you to try and square this club. And you can see that if I pause you about here, this is the point at which both arms would be fully extended, and you can see how open this club face is here. Both arms are virtually straight, and you can still see that we're a good distance away from the ball. Okay, so anything from this, where this green line is here, so anything from here to here would be deemed as timed. It also would be slowing down, alright, because obviously when both arms are fully extended, maximum speed has been achieved and has gone. And typical shots would be slightly heavy, slightly thin, and obviously depending how good you are at closing this club face, you see here we caught this one a little bit heavy, how good you are at wrapping these hands round and releasing this club round and shutting the face depends if you get any misses left, even possibly right. So you can get a real mixture there involved in that. Alright, so if you just run this down again, just to recover, the open club face at the top there, as it's being pulled down, this is like a catch-22 scenario. Because it's open, you have to release the club, you have to let the arms unwind as you attempt to try and shut the club face down. Okay, this is all a subconscious thing, you don't know this is going on. And if we just run Boo here on the right hand side through again, you can see that from the top of the swing, his club face is facing much more towards the sky, in my opinion, and people a lot cleverer than me opinion as well. This is a much squarer position. This is much better for the average population to play golf from. And because it's squarer there at the top, he simply has nothing to do on the way down, or not as much as yourself. He can hold the external rotation of the right shoulder. So what that is there is the throwing action. If I pause him about halfway down here, just where his kind of hands get to his right thigh, you can see that this angle here has been maintained with the right forearm. This is the external rotation I was just talking about. You can also see at this point here that he has got the club an awful lot closer to him. Alright, with this huge angle here between his arm and the shaft. This is holding lag. This means that the club is moving quicker than yours as well. You can see how much room you've got here on the left hand side and how much daylight you've got between your right elbow joint here and the chest. Okay, and if we just start to run this down again a little bit further towards the back of the left hand starts to reach the right thigh or the right femur, you can see that if we run Boo down at that point there, how much higher that club is. So if we were looking at who is more likely to hit the ball heavy, you can see that as you're releasing it and letting the club go, you're dropping it, and Boo is maintaining that angle, driving his right elbow in front of his body, working more towards that later release, which is the drive hold release, which gets you that compression and that forward shaft lean, that all the top hitters have. Okay, and just run through that again. Square club face helps to drive the elbow in front of the right hip, helps him hold the lag, hold the hit until the very last second. The best hitters on tour hold that position until the very last second before letting go. You can now see that when both his arms extend here, they're extending on the left hand side of the ball here. The arms at this point here look like they're much more in front of him than yours. If we're letting it go here, you can kind of see how the arms are letting go and flipping, and look like they're coming from behind you. They almost look like they're being dragged from behind you. Okay, so a couple of issues. Again, most of these issues are related back to the club face. Okay, so that club face at the top of the swing is what we're looking for. It's what we discussed in today's lesson. Using the grip addressed here, just like Boo, so that when you can swing it up to the top of the swing, that club face is facing the sky. You're going to be using the reference on the grip, the logo on the grip, as the checkpoint, and see if we can get the blade of that club to face much more up to the sky. It will then in the future allow you to work on the downswing and the arm movements in the downswing. Hope that helps. If you have any questions, let me know. Obviously I'll be seeing you again in a couple of weeks.